Hey guys, and welcome back to the big build. Today is a very large build. Now we're going to be dealing with the left and the right hand side of the map. In between the tracks there, we're going to actually leave today. So we start off here. We're going to move some factories in here. I've been trying to find some stuff to go here for ages, so I thought about time. Now this little bit here, we're going to put a bus station in there. Well, bus depot. So we start off with two of these put there. Don't like them, not like that. So we're going to move them around a bit. And we're going to put a third one in as well there in a second. Go. Now we're not going to do too much detailing today. We did a lot of building today. We're going to put a little bit of detail here. It's not really about what today's episode is about. It's just doing as much building as possible, getting as much of the houses and getting out of the city. So I think I stated last time that I wanted to get the city over and done with by the end of the next episode. I'm trying to find the fences or the walls here. Just at the end of there, and one at the end of the other end as well in a sec. We lower that down a bit. Put some along the road as well where the path is. That's kind of a little alleyway, I suppose, to the houses there. Once again, some more gardens for these places. Another wall. Once again, it gives them a little alleyway. This wall needs to be lowered down all the way across. Probably the entrances would be slightly bigger. I think there's a toilet actually in that little block there. Think about putting it here. Ultimately that's not good, so we will put them out there. I don't know why the toilet wouldn't be inside the building, but there you go, I saw it and I thought I'd use it. A few more buses, just keep copying them. Obviously I found them just beforehand. We're using a couple of them at the bus station near the train station there. So now we know where they actually come from. We're getting a few more red buses. That's it. And we'll turn them all around. Put them sort of near the entrance because we want to see them. There's no point in actually putting them inside. A couple there. And I think we're going to put a couple of trees along the edge here as well. That's it. And we're going to... It's still the base screen there, so we're going to try and change around. Just change the direction slightly, try and get it in line with the houses there. Problem is, everything's done by square and it's gone into... The green's gone into the bus station. Well, as soon as we start redoing that with gravel, it goes back again. Nothing we can do about that. So we're trying to find some weeds here. I might lose these, I might remove these. Nice idea, don't really need them. When we're actually up there, we'll do an actual run with the train at the end of the episode. We do one down this side and the other side, so you can sort of see how it will look. But you don't see too much, to be honest with you, so there's no point. Now I have noticed that, and it's always going to happen with the amounts of assets we've got, there is some frame loss here. Even with my I've got GTX 1080, not the TI, just the standard. There is frame loss certainly on the city, but there's going to be the amount of assets we've got. I'm probably going to have to look at that and see how we can improve that. That'll be done at some point. That might be probably done on camera. I don't particularly want to lose the assets, but we'll see. If things can't really be seen, then they'll be taken out. Or if we can actually find maybe it's less polygons, but it gives the same feel, then maybe we'll do that. But the thing as I stated, I want this to be like a train set, so it's going to have a couple of balls, this route. can either drive it. I'm going to wait a few sessions to actually with that, and I want to treat it as a train set, just like you did with the simple build. Now there's the train station we built last time. Yes, it was last time, wasn't it? So we're going to actually continue this now. So we put this brick banking on, and that will then change to some grass banking a little bit further up. And obviously, over the road there will be a metal bridge. This is the grass banking I found. This is perfect. It's a two-lane one. Now the other side's got 4 lanes, 4 lines, so we can't use this unfortunately on the other side. And there isn't any 4 line I can see, so we'll do 2. Well, you'll see in a minute. So we will do 2 separate pieces of banking either side. That works fine. If you can pick it up on the microphone, but there's a car alarm going off behind me constantly. It stops and starts and stops and starts. So well. So here's a metal bridge. It's the same one we used further down. Now I found these buildings, so it seems good. The right kind of buildings for this area. We'll put another one in and move the road a little bit up. There we go. Then we'll put a few more around here. You see where we are. If you look to the right, there's a bus station we just did a minute ago. So like I was saying there, where that train station is, that area is meant to be packed. That's why the train line, you don't have the grass banking, you have the brick banking, because you're meant to have a lot packed into there. If you're going at a train station or a train line, you'll probably see it, and then it swaps to a grass line further out in the suburbs. Here we go. I've done a couple of frames here, just looking at how as I'm building across here. Now, onto the left-hand side, you look out from the city. I decided to make my life a little bit more difficult. I decided it would be a good idea to have a hill. Now, the reason why I did that is this church here. Now, it didn't have to be this church specifically, but I've chosen this one. I'd already put it on the board. But when you're going into Marylebone train station in London, before you go through to the, if you've been on that line, it goes up to Birmingham. There is a series of tunnels as you're going into the train station. Before that, though, you got this coming from the suburbs, the sort of more central London. There's a little hill with a church on it, and you got all the houses and stuff around it, and that's gave me the idea. So as you're leaving the city here, you look to the left, and that's what you see on the hill, the church there. Now this is going to be filled, absolutely brim-filled with sort of semi-detached houses, this area. So we're further out now, so we've gone from the more packed area there to what above us, so more further into the city, and we're going out now, and we're getting out to the edge of the city here. So at this point, we're just trying to decide how we're going to put the houses. We're going to have a few more terraced houses, but not many, because they're very quickly going to go into these semi-detached and some detached as well. Now that hill actually becomes quite pronounced at the end. Now we start off by putting quite a few of these in, but they work in places. Now we have to set the height, otherwise they swirl up and down. They just don't look right, do they? Now the other thing I noticed, especially if you got houses quite close to the track, you need to keep the height pretty similar at either end. Otherwise, as much as the roof line stays sort of flat, the bricks, it looks like it's a sidings in the house. It doesn't look good. Well, that's pretty much where those houses, that type, is going to live. Now, as I mentioned, we do actually try and put a few more of these down here. I decided against it. We use a different type of house. I think it was the garden size which actually did against these. They're quite large. It's good for actually using the space up, so we don't have to put too many assets in there. And it also feels like suburbia in London, you know, or any city, I suppose. You go further out, it's more space. I try very hard, but we end up within the same height, but we really do need to get down to where that road is, the same height as the road. We do eventually do it. Now, this build's large, so we're not going to do every last bit of this on camera. There's going to be bits, and we'll go back to that camera point. You saw the static camera point of me showing you sort of the progression through various bits. So you notice the gardens on these are much smaller. And also allows for a step. And that's a good idea, I think. We can keep the houses this way round, parallel to the track. You can step it, so they slowly go higher. You don't notice the it's not just a hill, it's actually a step then so much. So we flick through. It's been ages looking for stuff. Now the road, it seems like a good idea to use this. It's got the grass verge and the path there. Those houses near the track there, I probably won't use those there. In fact, I know we don't. Now you can see some different types of banking I've used on that track there. I was just testing it. Now we do go for one of them. I delete the rest. You'll see in a sec. It's this one we end up going for. And we just raise that up. Now I did notice afterwards, actually this is not raised up enough. The track does feel a little like it's floating on that, so I need to do something about that. Now we do actually get to the external part of the city. We actually get into the countryside on this side today. Put a few fields in, well, just basic starter fields at least. One way around. Doesn't it look better? We put a wall on the end of there, so I don't think I'll do it on camera. Now the good thing about this, that's quite an abrupt hill there, but because these have got gardens, you don't need to keep them on the ground exactly, so we can raise them up a little bit. But that, the point I made with subsidence, you do start to feel that these houses have got that a little bit, because all that, they just don't feel quite symmetrical. They don't feel quite, I don't know, vertical and horizontal. They just feel like a slant slightly because of, well, they are. This set's not really meant to go up a hill. So there we are right now. You can see on the top left, that's where the houses are we just built. Now we're going up on a hill. We've inserted a road between the lower part and the top part of the hill. I believe on the left hand side there's where the church is, possibly. I think that's where the church is. I start putting them quite close together because that's where the gardens finish, but I decide that's probably a bit silly, so I space them out in the end. Now at the moment they're floating, so we try moving the ground up slightly. It works partially, but not that well. It would be good to get some buildings which actually could be used on hills. That would be good. But I haven't found many which can be. Now, the type I mean, we will use a couple later on that below the door and below the walls, they've still got a wall going downwards, which does then allow you to put it on the hill and it doesn't just float. But with these they don't, so we're putting some other sort of walls and fences and things in just to hide the fact, because the track's directly behind us. Where the camera is now, what we're looking from, is pretty much where the track is. You saw it there, so you are going to see it. I don't like floating, so but that wastes resources doing that, when you could just do it with one building. You're adding all the extra fences and things in, you don't really need to, which is a pity. Trying to get that road to actually look okay. You notice that junction there, it hasn't got a path on it. There aren't any T sort of junctions with the grass verge, unfortunately. Right, so as I said, we're going to put a few terrace buildings here. But this is pretty much it around this area, and that's as far as we go with those. That's because if you looked below where the track was, that's still the walled area. Now with this side, we did pretty much the same thing as the other. We put some extra walls on it. Now, I did try and move the grass up as much as possible, but then the doors start to get swallowed. I think you're on a losing battle on that one. You can't really... It doesn't really work. You can get away with a little bit of grass within the door, as long as it looks fairly realistic, but when it's covering half the door and quite obviously no one can actually get in it, it looks like a landslide. It's not. It's certainly the thing I don't like. Trying to grab one or not the other. Yeah, I just move out of the way in the end. I don't want to put them in different layers, not for just what we're doing here. Because I've already come to a conclusion that I want to have different sessions with this. And as I said earlier, that I want it to do multiple things. Now, if you're looking at it as a train set, everything has to be visible. But if you're looking at it as, let's say you're playing a route and you're coming on one track, maybe that round near that track where things are seen need to be visible, need to be on. So they're attached to that, those assets are attached to that session. But the things which aren't actual visible, maybe the other side, but they're still technically in range, so they're still being processed, maybe they could be switched off. So I think ultimately at the end, once this is all built, I'm probably going to create a number of different sessions here to do different things, because I think it'd be cool to actually have a driver session, create it for it as well. Not just... do you see how those roofs, moving on to those roofs, they're slanting downwards? That's the problem, I say, putting these buildings onto a slope. You could put individual ones on, but I think you end up using a lot more resources rendering them, though. I don't know, maybe that's not true, but that's how I feel that you would. These spline ones I feel use less resources, but I may not. See, that's slightly looking better, but yeah, what I was saying, I'm probably going to create different sessions, and so different parts of the city will be shown with more detail on one particular session over the other. But right now, I just want to build everything, make it look good, and then I choose what goes on where, if you see what I mean, afterwards. That will be done off camera, because that's going to be really boring for you to watch. You ain't going to want to watch that. It's literally click, boom, decide which layer or something's going to go on, change, okay. That's going to take hours, but I'll do that. Example is the canal, for instance. If you're driving a train, you don't need the canal boat or the stuff near the canal, the details near the canal. But if you're driving if you want to look at the canal, then maybe something else on the other side doesn't need to be seen. We're going to build a little garage here. Now I try with a road here, but it doesn't work because we're on a hill. See, look, it's actually, it's either floating or it's not visible. You also notice on the left we actually put another little road there. I just did that to fill it out a little bit more. Here we go, it's a set of garages. I used to play in a set of near an old set of garages between some houses like this when I grew up. Walk a car in there, a couple of cars. And once again, just to make it a little bit nicer, it's still just the base green, so we changed the colours a little bit. And add a few more assets in, like some trees and things. This is going to be a field here, in between the houses. Maybe suburbia, isn't it? So need a few fields and things. You see though, it is filling out quite well. And it's also easier in suburbia to actually fill it out because there's less things. In the centre of the city, everything's so tightly packed. You need to put so many things to make it look realistic. If you look at the houses, the white house at the bottom, the gardens are walls all hidden. That's unfortunate. I think I do something with that. Probably off camera. There you go, a few more trees and things. Oh no, not that one. It is coming along though, isn't it? Now, at the end, we will extend this track a little bit higher, further up as well, because I want to do one last thing on this episode. It won't be extended much further. There you go, we're going to put some bushes here. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. They're not exactly high res, but they're going to put them on the hill here. What I don't like about those gardens are they're all exactly the same. I'm so tempted to do something with them, like some grass or something, a spline of grass, you know, some sort of texture on there. Or maybe with some sheds or something in them, just to sort of make one or two. No, I'm doing that now. I forgot I've done that. I think the grass being the same colour on every last one of them, it's not a nice colour either, really. I think maybe on the odd one putting something. There's some washing. The old lady putting some washing out. We'll put one more, I think, there. Oh, got run over by a bus. And there we are so far. You see it's much more bulked out now at the top there. Another view of it, it looks quite nice, doesn't it? The backboard, everything. Now we're going to add a few extra splines here because I want to move the track round and I don't want the track behind it at the top of the screen moving when we do that. So that's the best way to do it, is add a couple of splines in. The problem is when you put them so close together though, is the turn becomes very acute. It's quite acute still, so we lessen it slightly. Now, we are going to put a bridge in. And this bridge marks the end of the city. Everything outside this bridge here, with this road, will be outside the city. Now, I put a train in there just to get a height, really. We need to keep it as low as possible, otherwise I'm going to have to hide the hills a lot more. Now what I might actually do, I haven't done this on this episode, but that wasn't good. But you can see we're trying to keep the hill to the same height as the bridge there. What I might do is actually put a train station here, because we haven't got one on this line yet. Commuter station. If you remember what I said, was the outer lines are for commuter, or for slow trains, and the inner two lines are for express. So maybe two platforms on the outer side. I haven't decided, may or may not do that. The fact that we've got all these houses here does lead me to think that there could possibly be a train station here. Do I use these? I can't remember. I think I try. I've cut this video so many times. I was doing this. I was so tired last night. I cut this. So I'm not entirely sure if I actually use those buildings or not. We might get rid of those and change them. Now I choose single ones though, like this, because we're on a hill. And as I said earlier, it looks like the buildings all look like they have subsidence on an angle when they're on a spline, unfortunately. So the ones here, and if we are having a station around this area, a little bit more detail. So these obviously are the ones. I must have cut the video then. I wasn't sure if I cut the video with the other ones. I tried another 2 sets for this, and they're all sort of based around a similar sort of house. But for whatever reason, I can't remember, I decided not to use them. There's that high wall again. Should be lowered down. So put it back a bit, and we need to put one there. We always put some dividing, because they are semi-detached, not detached houses. We do that afterwards. Now this may or may not stay in the end. I suppose it could. If we do put the platform there, we'll have to have some sort of steps going up there. So here we are again at this point of view. It's not exactly the same each time, but you can sort of see how it looks. Now we're going to work on this side for a little while now. And the first thing we do, on the other side, the station which we put in. Got some shots ready. We've used these in the city already, but it doesn't matter. Now these aren't on the spline, but for whatever reason I decide these are the ones I'm going to use. Now the one good thing using these, I find a set which does go up a hill slightly. You'll notice the roof line actually hires each time the house, each different house. You'll see in a sec what I mean. It's like a step. It steps on each house. The incline isn't that great on them though, but it's just about enough. There we go, look at that. That's the one we're going to use. It's got a step on the roof line everywhere. It's perfect. And that one doesn't. I didn't notice that. So obviously we need to get that road up to the same height as the track there. I think we found a little white house at the end of that road here. Not that one. I think we use this one here in the end. So we've got 2 spaces here. That will go there. Yeah, that's the one for there. We'll put a little garden wall behind it. Now as you can see, we found a crossing. I don't actually like this one though. I thought I was finding the. I thought I was trying to use the same one as I'd used on the simple route. Now the simple route one, you don't have to put anything on them. The gates open and close, but these ones don't, because I've tested them. So we'll probably take this one out and change it. Now I know there are more complicated ones which you can actually use a script and actually get the gates and the traffic lights and all that sort of thing to open and close. But there's a set of double ones for the British sort of 1960s like that, which work perfectly fine without doing any sort of coding or any sort of scripting, anything like that. Just works. So we use that one. Now this road does prove to be a bit of a problem. We're going to move the bottom road there round and join it. But it's on an angle, so it doesn't work. You'll notice that joint also has a bit of road without any path. Now, they're two, although they look exactly the same, those roads, they're not. One's completely flat all the way across and one isn't. One has a sort of a hump in the middle. Now this one, as we're looking at it with the junction, has the hump and the one above it doesn't. The reason why I changed to the flat one, because that crossing up there doesn't have the hump. And so to connect that, you need the flat road. We do the change there, so it's hidden behind some houses. Right, now we're going to have a quick look. It doesn't look too bad, does it? This is from the track area. And the other side, all the way up. We still got to do the middle part, as I said. That'll be done next episode. And there's a bit more detailing here to end this off. I was so tired. I did so many hours in the end. And that church looks good, doesn't it? So we're going to go have a quick ride down to the main train station, and we'll hop on another train and go up the other track. I suppose I could have picked a train with a nicer interior, but I just picked one off randomly here. You'll notice the frame rate's actually dipping already. That's why I said we're probably going to have to play with the session a little bit to actually see which assets are really causing that. I will get that fixed. But when you think about it, with building a city with this many assets, and we've done so many things in this city, it's going to happen. You're going to lose some frames. Yeah, I actually park it. And people actually get on. I actually really take them to the main train station. Don't know what she's doing, just standing there, looking at the wall. Come on then, put some speed on. Now I wonder if this wall here is too high. I think it might be actually. I might replace that wall next to the tracks. Now we're heading into the city now. We're going to get to the junction soon. We'll get where the main tracks are. Now you'll see me switch off the junctions. Well, I forgot to switch the overlays off. There we go, switch them off now. I've already set it up, so we should go into the correct platform. Actually, I was playing with this a few times. I actually messing about with the weather conditions as well. I played it when it was really raining, so it actually looked like, and at night, everything lit up, was quite nice. But honestly, I'm quite happy with it. It's not as detailed as I'd like it to be, but I obviously can't do too much more with it. Otherwise it won't be playable. But look at that, that looks good, doesn't it? I'm happy with that. I'm still going to put some weeds and stuff on this track because it's just too similar all the way that using the same rocks. Repaint it slightly, as also put the end of the station on. There's the red train, you can see it. We're going to hop into that one and go down the other line in a sec. It's too uniform, the colour at the moment, I think. There we go, and we're going to hop into the other train. Off we go. Now, we've been up this line before, but we can't, obviously not been up as far as we're going today. Once again, another fabulous interior. The first time I ran this, I thought that speeder was actually right. Probably the clue it wasn't. It was not actually moving, even though I was pressing the accelerator. Quick check of the speed again. Dave is still having problems, whoever Dave is. Hope it's not the bus. I hope that's actually working correctly. Now, I think this wall was too high because you're not able to see the scenery, and that's the point of it, really. Might try and find something about half the height. In a sec, this wall finishes, so I haven't put any more on yet. So there's the church. That's what it looks like. I think that looks good. Up there like that. One thing I don't like is the chimney. Every one of those houses at the top there have smoke coming out of it. You might see the odd one with smoke, but not everyone. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I think thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please press the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you press that ding dong bell button, I say this every time, lets you know when I put stuff on. Cheers, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.